So there's a YouTube channel, KWREI Training, and it's called Contacts and Marketing with E-Edge, and you can watch that video. It's the class recorded. So you can go and watch it. Also, Scott Leroy has a couple great videos on his YouTube channel. Okay, so you guys, today we are doing all about build your business. So, mission 2, did you guys get mission 2 done? Any ahas from mission 2, the videos you watched? What were in there? Sitting at the edge was in there, right? Yep. Excellent. Scott Leroy is a great help for that. What else? What else was in there for mission 2? Did everybody get your mission 2 done? Lots of homework, huh? This is crazy. There's a lot to do, but if you will do these things, you guys, it will start getting your business rolling. It will start getting, so now you have mission 1 you need to have done, mission 2, tomorrow's mission 3, so you guys got to get caught up. Get caught up. Okay, so what we're going to do for the next 10 minutes is we're going to do lead gen. I want you guys to get on the phones. Everyone should have brought 5 names with them. We're calling the script on the mobile app is still on the board. If you need to script to your next door neighbor or read your script out loud once or twice, you have 10 minutes of lead gen. And I want to see if we've got how many appointments or contacts we can make in 10 minutes. So, everybody get your numbers out and let's go.
The script is for
You're getting started yet.
just focus
I love it. I love it. Okay, guys, how did we do? Who got a referral or a lead as a result of your calls? How many did we have? One? One? So there's 3? One?
Last time I got an appointment, but you didn't ask for an appointment.
Oh, excellent. Did an appointment. Did you make it an appointment today?
Okay, well, I don't know. I've been working with this lady and I called her.
Yes.
I list her house finally, and she's like, she's my neighbor, and I could never get a hold of her. She said that you can list it finally.
Yes! Nice job! Nice job! Fantastic! So what do we talk about? It's the 6th call. The 6th call. What is it?
It's mindset.
It is.
I asked you, I said, why are my calls so successful all of a sudden? They weren't before, and this day was like everybody answered almost. Not everybody, but. And this one, this gal that I called today, she hasn't answered me. It's my baby.
Isn't that amazing?
Answer
I will tell you, I don't know what voodoo magic it is, but you just becoming purposeful and thinking about it, I promise there is something crazy that changes when you get focused, right, Sheri?
Yeah.
And you start to decide, I'm going to do this and it's going to work. So, what's this? Normally I don't let anybody sit over there, girls. That's all right, I'll let you know. Okay, so, you guys, what do we do now? Any contacts you made, what do you also have to do? And put them in your database and write a thank you note or a Facebook message. That's exactly right. So if you go in and you do a Facebook message, then you can do that and send them your mobile app. Whoops, this just all of a sudden decided to change up a little bit here. So let's go from here. So there we go. Sorry, guys. This technology is our first round of technology stuff, so be patient. And poor Sheri's going to be so kind to this. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's going to work great. Okay, so today's speaker is Sheri. Today's teacher is Sheri Peery. Oh, we're going to get through this. Here we go. Sheri Peery. Sheri has been in the business quite a long time and is an amazing agent. She's on our Agent Leadership Council, which means she is in the top 20% of the producers. She is an individual agent with an assistant now. So she has a lot of experience. She's been on a team. She's been off a team. She's been an individual. She's had an assistant. She hasn't. She is a wealth of knowledge. So it's a great time to ask. She's gonna keep you guys on task, but this is a great time to ask questions. You have someone, there we go. You have someone in teaching you that has the experience. Ask the questions. Now, I would rather have you guys ask questions, not bunny trails, but ask questions and get the information and then read the information tonight at home. So get to the activities and get through those things. All right, Sheri is up. She's going to talk about the database and how important that database is.
That's funny. I like what she said about she'd rather you ask questions and have conversation than sit and read the material, because I think it's more effective to gain what you can from the class, take what you're what's shared with you and internalize it and apply it to your own business. Reading is great for some people. For me, it doesn't work very well. I'm more a visual person. So I think that the fact that this is being recorded is to my disadvantage, because I tend to get off track from the lesson.
Oh, I'm watching.
So it's interesting.
Passenger and we'll sign in.
It's interesting. Jessica was mentioning about gaining people into your database and managing that. We're going to talk about that a lot today, but I like what Phil said about going to write the cards and then not having the address or not having the information. Or I wanted to bring these down and show you. This is the kind of stuff I have on my desk. Is anybody familiar with this kind of stuff where you look at it later and go, what the? Okay, so was it that person I was talking to or this person I was talking to, and what do I need to say in my thank you card? I've learned that when I'm talking on the phone, I want a piece of paper in front of me all the time. I don't care if I'm in my car, at my house. I have a clipboard next to my bed in case I get a call, in the morning, or a text in the morning that I can write down information. I'm terrible about remembering, so that would be one tip I would give you today, is to have a little notepad that you can keep. Now, this may not serve any purpose to me later, 6 months from now, but it may be very valuable on Friday when I'm writing out all my thank you cards for the week. What I do is I'll transfer information from this to more compact version, and then I keep that booklet all forever. So I have several of those that I use, and I think it's a good habit to form. Jessica also mentioned about learning these habits now. I was brought into the business and had no instruction whatsoever. I went through, did my classes, and then I was put in front of a phone and told to sell houses. And it was a pretty interesting experience. Keller Williams gives you all the tools that you need to start a business properly from the beginning. It's great that you get information from people, get names, phone numbers, email addresses, but if you have them like this, what good is that going to do you? The Edge is a great way to organize the information and keeping track of where you are with those people during the process of working with them and after you work with them. I just had a case where I was walking in the back door, and a person that I had sold the house to 3 years ago was coming out of Garfield politics. And I was like, so I went back and looked, and I stayed in touch with them, but not purposefully. I commented on their Facebook posts, I liked their pictures, I did stuff like that, but I didn't send them a note saying, hey, I want to be your agent. I want you to remember me when you're ready to sell your house. And that was a real eye-opening experience, because I thought I had stayed out in front of them. If you look at branding and in shopping, say for instance, or restaurants, who stays out in front of you? Anybody that's advertising, you see it, but as day goes by and you drive by a restaurant, you don't notice that restaurant anymore. If you get a coupon in the mail that gives you 5% off or 10% off or a free piece of pie, does that make you think about, well, maybe I should go to that restaurant? We need to take the advertising techniques that have been used for years and apply them in our business on a more personal basis, of course. But one of those ways to do that is with your note cards. Always in my note cards, I put 2 business cards. I always put in there that I want to be your real estate agent for life. I say that all the time to all my clients over and over again. I'm telling them that I want to earn their business. So I think if you are to do the note cards frequently, do your follow-up calls frequently, and stay out in front of those people that they'll continue to use you, not just the first time, but continually. I had a really great compliment the other day. I was talking to Dave Nelson. Who knows who Dave Nelson is? And he said to me, Carrie, how much of your business is referral or repeat clients? And I said 95%. And he was like, dead silence on the other end of the phone. He said, how do you do that? I will tell you, I buy no cards in bulk. I have 100 sitting on my desk at any given time. I have 5 in my glove box or my jacket box in my car with stamps. If I go on a listing appointment, I fill that card out right after the listing appointment. I drop it in the mail that day. So within 2 days, they get a note from me saying, I'm going to be your agent for life. I'm not saying that you do the same thing I do, but you find what works for you. You find who you want to be in this business. Do you want to be the person that accumulates a bunch of names and does your business on volume, or do you want to be someone who has 95% focus? I'm not interested in going to a group of people I don't know and trying to get people to like me. That's not how I work. I work on relationships. So my goal is to make everybody as happy as possible within reason that I work with so that they share my name. I have from one I have like 5 people in my A list of referral base, and I had one person send me 7 deals last year. That's how I want to have my business. I'm in the top 20%, not because I call expireds and FISBOs and have Zillow leads and comb through that. I prefer to do it this way. And that may not be what you want to do. Someone else may want to do all those things, but making the business plan that fits you, I think, is going to be what makes you successful. Because I might not be the same as Latoya, or I might not be the same as Brittany. I'm me, and I want to do it the way that works for me. So name a few brands that you have seen just recently. Something you've gotten in the mail. Sherwin Williams. So what kind of a ad or offer was it?
It was a 30% off. They always try whatever.
Mm-hmm. Does that make you want to go?
If I'm thinking I need to paint something, yeah, that's the one I got.
Ace Hardware sends me a thing every once in a while, give me $5 off if I go in the store. And I love Ace Hardware because of that stupid $5 coupon. That happened to be awesome. I get them so we can set on all the time. Do you think you would go there if you didn't get that? I just got a thing from Carino's that said something that if you bought a dinner, you got a free appetizer. And I thought, oh, we should go. So it works, and it's been proven to work. So we want to make sure that our brand is out there. How many agents do you think any one given person that you know knows? A good way to find that is to go on Facebook and choose someone that you feel is in your sphere of influence, and look how many agents are in their friends list. It's so interesting to do that.
Sheri, I was thinking too that when you talk about that, I think they said it's proven that people really can only keep a couple of brands in their mind. So if it's toothpaste, it's called Crest, but they get 3 or 4 in their mind, you really only have 2 because they think that all the time. So if you keep, being at the top of their mind, you'll be one of those 2.
True.
Hopefully first.
Right, it's true. And do you think that if you're the one that's sending them information, no matter what it is, on my Facebook page, I have post rules that I'll do a listing promotion, and then I'll do something about finances, and then I'll do something about home maintenance, and then I'll do something about something fun in town. Like right now, we're doing a lot of like super fun treats to make for Halloween, ways to decorate for fall, things like that. There's more touches that you can be in front of somebody, and if you're not always saying, do you have anyone that I can help? Do you have anyone that I can help? You want to have your value be not only your real estate, but as a person. You're a real estate professional, but you're also a member of the community. So being involved in Red Day is a great way to expose yourself to the community as a person in the community, and not just as a real estate agent. I did a contest last year to try to get a certain amount of likes on Facebook, where anybody that liked my page, if we got this many likes, then we would donate a 50-pound bag of dog food to the animals. if we got this many likes, we do two big, two bags. Just silly things like that. Just, you can connect with somebody that is an animal lover or shares your interest in gardening or maybe likes fashion. I mean, it could be any way that you can connect. I've had people contact me that through other agents have heard that my girls did gymnastics and cheered for Boise State. So I have people that are wanting to connect on that level. So the more things you can cover, I feel like in your touches, is you're gonna be able to connect with more people.
How many Facebook posts are you doing, like feed or?
Well, I have a service that does one a day, so at least if I'm overwhelmed or something, at least I do it once a day. And it's the real estate agent directory, and all of you should be on that. You should go. It's a free service. You can go in there and create your profile, and it's a great way to expose yourself without it costing you. But I do quite a few different posts in a day, probably 5
a day. And that was
And some days I don't, but that's what I try to do, especially during the week. So I'll do one in the morning, and then my automatic one goes. We'll do a real estate one, and then.
And that was the real estate agent directory is the one that does the one every day. Free?
Yeah, no, that's the service that I.
That's a
do.
service.
It's like $8 a month.
Do you do Circle Bits? Circle Bits offers one for about $20, and they do some auto postings.
Zillow has something called Porch Light that they have really neat blog posts that you can copy if you, I think if you have a subscription with them. My thing is to do as many free things as possible. I don't want to be, especially with Zillow, where they take your lead and have control of it.
Sheri, is this your personal Facebook page, or do you have a Facebook?
I have a realtor Facebook page. And I have people that are on my realtor Facebook page that don't do anything on my personal page. I also recently got married, and I didn't change my name because of that, and so my private Facebook page is more personal. I have it very sheltered from public view. But of course, my business page is very open, and I have some followers that are from different countries and stuff, which is really good. But doing those posts, if you boost the post or do an ad, you can collect people that wouldn't be in your sphere. Targeted market, targeted direct marketing. So those touches are important, and collecting that information and organizing it is critical. So I was probably 3 years into my business, and I had all this information, and none of it was organized, and I wasn't a member of Keller Williams, and I just was a hot mess. Didn't have any kind of scheduled emails or anything like that going out to my client base. And I remember my kids asking me, so how many people are in your database? And I was like, I don't know. Having control of that is having control of your business. If you don't have your database organized, then you are going to be floundering and looking for information. As Phil said, how long did it take you to find that information? Forever. There's a few tricks that we have as agents that we can get information, like for tax information we have access to. That's one shortcut to try and find an address, but it's much better to keep your notes organized, and like Jessica said, each day add those to your database. Then it's a manageable task instead of being this, taking a stack of papers. Okay, like I didn't put the last name on this page, Trying to put that information in is more difficult. So having even a sheet, I know when I worked at the Hicks Group, they had a contact information sheet, and they would not do anything for you until you had it completely filled out. Well, be your own admin and say, I'm not going to do any forms until I have all of this information. So names of both spouses, emails of both spouses, phone numbers of both spouses is just a minimum. But also information pertaining to the connection that you have with that client. Because trust me, I have 9 pendings right now. I have 4 active listings. I'm listing 3 more houses. I can't remember stuff, right, Jessica? It's hard. So if you have that information in your database and it's accurate, then you can do a lot more good. So targeted marketing is something that I just talked about on Facebook. And does anybody know what that is? targeted marketing. So it used to be in the olden days of real estate that we would put an ad out that we to a broad amount of people and hope to find the people that were looking for real estate. Now there are ways that you can direct your marketing at those people. And Facebook is a good platform for that because you can do the directed marketing towards a group of people, an age group. You could put in tag words like if they're looking for real estate or a home, or you can choose a certain price, income level, stuff like that, so that you're taking, instead of saying I have this $500,000 house listed and putting an ad in some magazine somewhere hoping to collect, some prospective buyers, you can actually send it to the people that have already said, I'm in this price point and I would be interested in something like that. So there was an example in here where this water company had this vitamin-enriched water, and they wanted to target women and men in between the ages of 18 and 49 that were interested in health and fitness. So because they took that big funnel and, made it very purposeful, they were able to increase their sales by 28% that year. That is something that in this business is really important, that you realize that we have this power of technology that can help us with growing our business and our database, which is the lifeblood of our business. How does this relate to you? You're just starting out and you're trying to accumulate clients, and how does this apply to you? What can you do? What can be your pitch to get to find new clients? What do you think is attractive about a new agent?
Just think, you can say like, I am new, but all my attention will be focused on you. I have all my to meet your needs.
That's a great point. So you have time, which is something that I don't have, right? You can give that personalized attention to that person and be very responsive to them. Do you think that there's some people in the that are interested in real estate that would rather have you than a big team where they're talking to 15 different people?
Yeah, some people get frustrated, don't know who to talk to.
I used to get a little bit discouraged when I was up and coming and trying to make my way in this business, and I would see people like Mike Hicks or Morgan Peterson or Jim Miller, and they were doing so good, and I would think, how can I compete with that? Well, I'm not them, but what can I do? What is my specialty? How can I market myself so that I'll pick up those people that don't want that? When you look at the percentage of market that those big teams or the big agents have and how much is still left over, there's plenty of business for all of them. So refining yourself, marketing yourself, touching your clients, making sure you're in the forefront, like he said about the two, you're only going to remember 2 people. There's people out there that know 10 agents. But if someone's touching them, then they're going to remember that person. Unless it's a relative or something. Out of it. Okay, Jessica, so how do I do this? Just click this
Okay,
link.
click to the next
This one.
slide. Now click that link.
Okay, so this video is going to talk about what the benefits are of an organized database. I'm going to tell you guys it took me like 3 months when I finally sat down and organized my database. Trying to find 2 hours here and 2 hours there, and trying to go back and reconfirm and look up and make sure they hadn't moved and things like that. If you start this from the beginning and have your database organized, you will be way ahead of half of the agents that are in this office even.
Go to the right. Mouse to the right. Finish to that screen.
So
Go over to the right and move your mouse onto that screen.
Oh, I have to go over here.
I'm saying right. I mean left. Sorry.
Okay. Well, is it her left
So
or
it
my
came
left?
up on here. No. So
You're
first
probably
test,
just
I'm
gonna
trying
have
to
to
put the
do
link inside of it.
Oh, so it just came right here.
All right.
Can we make sure?
Here we have Nancy. She is using her database to lead generate. Because her contacts are organized, she is able to make effective calls that yield results.
Hello, Mr. Smith. This is Nancy from Keller Williams Realty. How are you today?
You can see that because she took time to build, organize, and nurture her database, her business is growing and becoming profitable.
Okay, so you're not moving. Is there anyone else who is? Well, I'm going to talk to you about the inquiries you put in online for a new home. Yes. Well, can we meet at 2 o'clock on Tuesday? I'll put you down in my books. Thank you so much.
Here is Nancy. She doesn't think she needs a database. She has a system. Watch as she tries to lead generate.
Hello, Mr. Smith. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Johnson. This is Nancy. We met a couple weeks ago. You moved a month ago. I'm so happy for you. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, is there another time we can talk?
As you can see, an organized database is your most valuable business asset. A powerful database produces productive and predictable leads. The results speak for themselves.
They must have had a hidden camera in my office because I was so mean. I would be like, oh, you just sold your house. Oh, and it was someone I knew that had listed it.
And all you can do is say, congratulations.
And you get off the phone and you're nauseated. Because you know that they would have chose you had you been in front of them. It isn't a matter if they didn't pick you because you weren't good. They didn't pick you because they forgot. How many of you have had a similar experience where you go and do something with somebody? Pardon me?
I'm always forgetting my own name. How much do you remember everybody else?
It's true. So how do I do this, Jeff?
Go with this over in the upper right corner. Go to the right on the next. Now you should be able to click that or click to your next slide.
Next slide.
Down at the bottom, there's little arrows left and right.
Okay. So what is a database? What is the definition of a database? What is just a simple definition of a database?
Just a tool to organize names, numbers, contacts, to organize information.
Right. So what is the edge? On steroids. Because now you can take all of that information, that's great information, but if you don't do anything with it, then it's pointless. Well, I shouldn't say it's pointless. It's not working for you. The value of your business is your database. Because if you don't have a database, you don't have any clients. If you don't have them organized and you're not marketing to them with direct marketing, with touches, with being out in front of them, then you're going to lose those calls that you make and say, oh, you already sold your house. That's a $5,000 mistake. I think of it that way, and every time I miss a deal, I think that just cost me. And I want you to think of it that way as well. Instead of being, I think in the beginning you're a little bit reserved. I don't want to say shy, I want to say reserved. You're not sure if you should. You don't want to sound like a used car salesman, right? You don't want to be bugging somebody. Like, I look through my email where I get like 250 a day, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I now have them categorized with all the advertisements coming from one thing that I don't even have to look at anymore. You don't want to be in that category. You want to be someone that's in front of everyone. You want people to know your name. You don't want to be annoying. So finding that special spot is part of refining yourself. But if you're not in front of them, they're not going to pick you.
So on your database too, so you have your little papers that you're writing on,
And then you input that in the computer system. So do you do it yourself or do you have your assistant do it?
I do it because a lot of it is up here. My assistant she works like 30 hours a week, and it's my daughter. She's 21 years old, and she's new to the business of real estate. I've been an agent since she can remember, but she's never been in the business. So I feel like a lot of the information that I have in my mind, to write it down on a piece of paper and have her do it just doesn't make sense. So in the morning every day, any people that I've collected the day before, I'll put in the database and add them to the campaign. There's several different campaigns in the Edge that you can put on autopilot, and is the best thing in the world. I will say that it takes a little bit of time in the beginning to customize it to you, because Jessica's going to tell you that just do it. The fact that you're doing it is better than not doing it, but I don't want my emails to say greetings, because that's not something I would say. So you go in and you can modify the templates to sound more like you, and I'm not saying go in there and spend a whole lot of time changing them, but I would never say greetings. It's just, and anybody that knows me knows that. So I went in and just modified the 33 touch, and I will be honest with you and tell you I don't use every single guideline in there, but every month, everybody in my database is getting an email from me that's either saying the market is great, the market statistics are being sent, or it's winter, time to winterize your house, or these improvements give you a good return on investment. I mean, the templates that are in the Edge are fantastic. A little nerdy if you don't change them, but it's a great tool. And then you're touching the people in your database continually is what you need to do. It used to be the policy when I worked with Remax that you had a bus bench. You had to have a bus bench if you worked with them. There's people who know me from the bus bench that I've never met before, and I haven't had a bus bench in 5 years. And it's kind of funny. They say, "Where's your bus bench?" Well, I don't have one anymore. But it's funny what will connect with you. So I think using as many free tools as you can, putting yourself out there, and then finding your touches in the Edge system is the way to start marketing to that base. I think what Savannah said was really good about focus on that you have time right now. You have the ability to give someone really outstanding service, and that you'll give them that personal touch that they're not going to get from the Anderson Group. And nothing against the Anderson Group, but Sean goes to their house. I don't even know if he goes out anymore, and they never see him again. So some people really like that.
This is Idaho. We're about 20 years behind the times. People get used to seeing the same people at where they get their coffee, where they do their shopping. Seems like smaller, they want more personal service.
Well, and do you feel that way? I think some of the millennial group are more technology based, but I think anybody over the age of like 30 is very much relationship based. You're pretty technology savvy.
I am.
Yeah, you probably do a lot of online shopping. See, I'm not. I'd rather go to the store and have to talk to somebody. And I think a lot of people are like that.
I'm about to have Walmart deliver my groceries.
Okay, I'm gonna share something about Dwayne with you guys. So he goes, "Have you heard the button?" And I'm like, "I don't know if I'm gonna make this conversation." And he goes, "The button from Amazon." And I'm like, "I don't have any idea what you're talking about." Well, I guess you can order these buttons, and you put them places in your house, like in your laundry room, and in your bathroom, and under your sink. And when you're out of toilet paper, you push the button. They send you toilet paper.
Yeah, they have refrigerators that'll do that for you now too.
Oh my heavens!
You can get one that will actually text you from your refrigerator. There's a list of what you commonly run out of eggs, milk, butter, and you just push it and it lets you know you need banana popsicles. On this great.
So I think Jessica would be one of those technology-based people, and
I would
Dwayne
rather
would
have you
as well.
text me or email me than call me.
It's a high D.
My
I'm a high I.
My new technology is for staging is the new frame TV that's come out.
You want to ask people, ask them how they like it.
So Jessica just brought up a good point. So when you're doing this, when you're adding stuff to your database and you ask me, do I add or do I have my assistant add? There's places in there that you can put notes, and this is a really key thing. So when I'm doing my buyer's presentation or a listing appointment, I ask them both and look them in the eye and say, how do you want me to communicate with you? I say, my standard is a group text between husband, wife, and me. I found that texting one or the other spouses can cause problems between the spouses. One, because they feel like they're out of the loop. Two, because they feel like the other person's making decisions for both of them. I found that a group text is something I start after the listing appointment or first buyer presentation, but then I ask them, how do you want me to communicate? Is this okay, or would you like another way? Do we want to do an email every time? Do we want a phone call to one person? So I have this client who's 38 years old. He has a home phone and she is a texter. I'm like, okay, this is really challenging. So everything I do, I have to call him and he's never answered the phone. So I leave a message and then I text her. But you know what? They're super happy. And
Best you can do.
it takes a little extra and they only have one email address, so we never e-sign anything, which is really challenging. But finding out the way
I
they
would
want
fire
to.
them right now.
Yeah, but I have 2 deals with them, a sell and a buy. So
I'll help them.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fire them.
You know a good agent, right? So making sure this information is accurate when you put it in, managing this database, and then you have to take care of it. Think of it as a living, growing organism. You have to feed it. You have to pet it. You have to take care of it. You have to make sure it's working properly. If you're putting all the names in there and then not doing anything with the systems, then it's your Furby pointless. Right, Tap? It's your Furby. It's a Furby. That's a great analogy. So all of you guys are going to think of it as your Furby. What happens if you don't pay attention to your Furby? Turns into some crazy monster and attacks you while you're sleeping. So there's some rules.
It just died, Sheri. It doesn't happen.
There's some rules of thumb, and Jessica will probably help me with this. For every 12 people in your database, if you're touching them 33 times a year, then you will get one.
For every 12 people in your database, that you do an 8x8 and print stretch, you should generate 2 points. A direct buyer, seller, and a referral.
Okay. So remember how I was telling you that most of my business is referral based, and I got 7 from one person. Do you see how this could really work for you? I'm finding out what your niche is and marketing that to those people in your database, how that could work really well for you. So would it be fair to say that the size of your database directly equates to how much money you make? Don't you think this is a good business investment right here? It would literally take you 10 minutes a day to grow your database by 5 people every day. It would be that easy. So you might ask, how do we do that? The next Ignite course is on finding your business. This is building your business and how to set the structure. And then Michelle is going to talk on Wednesday about how to find that. Has everybody taken the disc? Do we still do the disc? Yes.
It goes out. They get the email after their first 30 days.
Who's done the disc? Who's a high I? Or who has a lot of I? Okay, so you're relationship-based people. So there's a good way to start your niche. Who's a D?
You can only have one in the room. Otherwise, there's a war.
I'm like an off the charts I, and then I have like S, C, and D over here. My I is like here. Yeah. So I work from that, and it was crazy. The very first time that Jessica went over the DISC assessment, I was sitting with 3 of my friends. It was Spencer, Lisa Brown, me, and Dave Nelson. We're sitting in the back, and Jessica's like, okay, so if you're driven and self-assured and very factual and non-emotional, and we all are looking at Lisa Brown. That's her. And then they said, and if you're the one that walks in the room and says, hi everyone, I'm here, look at my shoes. And just that morning I said to Dave Nelson, look at these new boots I got. He's like, I don't care about your boots. And then the S person is the person that's studying everything, structured, and we're all looking at, we literally were identified that day by that assessment. And that was a life-changing day for me because you don't want to try and fit into the mold of somebody else. I'm not my kicks and I never will be. Do I admire him and look at his success and want to emulate him? To some extent, but I'm never going to be like him. So how can I be the best me? Taking advantage of the knowledge that this company gives you about yourself is incredible. And using the tools that they give you in order to grow your business, the roadmap is there for you. You just follow the directions, it works. And then put your personal touch on your relationship with your clients. Jessica's
But Sheri, that's not fun. That's not creative. I'm creative. What do you say to that?
change greetings to hey or whatever, whatever sounds like you. There's ways you can just do a few little things to make it your own. Has anybody seen my new business cards? So,
They're nice.
so they're me though, don't you feel? Like doing those little things to brand yourself is great, but follow the motto. This is like you don't have to vary from this to have it work for you. And with the numbers laws, like Jessica said, reach 12 people in your database if you got 2 closings a year. How many people do you want? How many closings do you want? Let's do the math backwards. How many closings do you want in a year? I'm looking for 60 this year. So how many people do I need in my database? I need like a million. Unless I have some of those key people that are sending me
Multiple deals.
You only need 360 people in your database to make sure you do the marketing.
Miss Matthew.
But the thing is with that, it's because somebody's going to send you 7 and somebody's not going to send you any. But you have to put that system in place and it averages out that.
Right.
I always say if you look at it and you call everybody and let them know, I would like to get 1 referral from you this year. How many people would you need to meet your goals if they actually sent you 1 referral in an entire year? 60 people, right? So the idea is, can I track, if I only know 10, can I just track and just follow and say, is it okay, will you help me? Will you help me get 1 referral this year? And then they go, I'll give you 1 referral this year. And you just go back and regularly touch them. You would have 10 deals closed just from knowing 10 people. It's just being focused that they will come out of that database. We just abandon them. So easy. Because we're embarrassed to go to people we already know. We don't want to bug them and ruin our friendships.
When you consider yourself a valuable person and that you're offering a service to somebody and you're valuing yourself, then the whole thing changes. Do I think I'm a good agent? I know I'm a good agent. Do you think I think that I can help somebody? I would rather be their agent than have someone else help them. I feel like I can do a really good job for them. So I think it was you, Jill, right, that said it's in your mindset. That's your name.
Good job.
So NAR says that people move every 10 years. So I just sold a house like 3 years ago, and they were calling me and saying that they're ready to sell. So do we not contact them for 10 years? Do you think I've been in front of those people every month since they bought their house from me?
That's the hope.
That's the plan. Be purposeful in everything you do. I also want to talk about this. I wear this everywhere I go. You know how many deals I've gotten from just having this name tag on that I can directly say, is this like worth $25,000? Don't be a secret agent. You want people to know that you're in the business of real estate. That email that you send out when you first start of, hey, look, I'm in the business, if I can help you or anyone you know, that's a great starter, but you have to keep going with that. You have to make sure that people know you're in the business. So that 7, they say 10 years. Isn't it more like 7 years now?
I think they even adjusted that to 5.
I sold some people a house last year, and they had a baby, and then he got a new job, so they decided they wanted to move. That Facebook thing I was talking about, I friend everybody that I do business with to come into my business page, and then I watch their stuff and comment and try to make sure that they know I'm still there by doing things that way as well.
So Sheri, I had an interesting situation yesterday that you always think, should I get into real estate? Is the market up or down? And it doesn't matter. Everyone's buying and selling all the time. You just have to catch them when they're ready. Our neighbors want to move into the new Thunder Mountain, Thunder Ridge, Thunder Rolls. I don't know what it's called, the new high school. Thunder Ridge. So they want to be in those boundaries. And that's why they're going to move. That's it. And that's because the school is moving. Because, their high school is splitting and all of their kids' friends will be in the other. So now they're going to move to the boundaries. I mean, there was no reason. It wasn't because that's why. So there's always, you have to catch them when you have no idea what situation is going to cause them to be.
You may actually see people moving to the west side of Greenland who've got new projects coming now because people don't want the long commute. They don't want the long commute. So if we have smaller priced homes on the west side, we can emphasize that, this one, you go faster than the ones on the east side because we're getting all these new jobs. So.
But if they don't know that you're in real estate, they're never gonna have that conversation with you. So being out there is
I tattoo it to my forehead, but I don't think they're both good ones.
We're name tag. There's a good one. You can get those shirts that say stuff like "This girl sells real estate more than the gym." I got a deal that way. I had something on ask me about the market. It said on my back. Someone asked me about it. So being very visible to collect these names from your database, and like I said, Michelle, I wish I was that class. Because that's my favorite. Next thing. So do you think that if you had your database up to date, you would be more likely to market to it? So I got a new listing. It was a couple weeks ago. It's in the $300,000 price point. Would it have been a good thing for me to take that listing and send it to everybody in my database that's in that price point? Should I send it to my entry-level buyer that's looking for something under 75 to 100,000? Because then that's just going to make them sad, right? So using that database to market your own listings when you get them, and you can use that in your listing presentation as well. I market to my own database. I'm on the mission to find a buyer for your house, and this is how I'm going to do it. I use targeted marketing to share your listing not only with all the other agents in the MLS, but I also send it to everybody in my database. Would it be impressive to say you had 10,000 people in your database that you were marketing to?
So there you send yours out to MLS.
I do. You can do, and I don't know if you want me to say this or not, but Jessica shared with me all the email addresses of everyone in the MLS. And you can make that a group of stakeholder agents in your EH. You get a new listing instead of paying the MLS to that $40 thing. You can just send that listing out. You guys look at those when you get those from Michelle Rodison's really good about sending those out. I look at every one of them. Are there listings that come on the market and you don't even know they're there, and your client calls you and says, "Oh, I want to go see that house on." I want to say this morning I got a text at 6 o'clock from this kid that's trying to find something in the $100,000, 100 to 125. Our most leanest price point. So he's watching every day. I didn't know this came on the market. He knew before I did.
She set them up in the MLS so they get the little automatic thing.
Send them to the MLS.
No, an EDGE.
Yes!
EDGE. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I do on my own. On my clients, sometimes I'll set myself up on, depending on how urgent the matter is, I'll set them up on the instant listings from the MLS to send to me.
To you.
So I get them on my phone so I know.
So you guys, just a tip on that EDGE, the reason I make a big deal about that is when you set them up on a drip from the MLS, they are basically going to Zillow. They're basically going to a website that shows them all the other agents, advertising from other people. It's not driving them back to you. Anybody can get on that site. So what makes you special about that? Every agent can do that. You want to set them through EDGE so it drives them back to your website, which that means if they need information, they only go back to you. They can't find another agent's phone number from your website, but on the MLS strip, they can.
And I want you to know that on Zillow, their goal is to get that client and sell it to somebody else, and other people are going to be calling that person. So it's a good thing to, like Jessica said, to have it going back to yours, so you can control that exposure a little bit. I can't tell you that there aren't people that are going to go on Zillow, but if you're providing that service and meeting their needs, they're not going to go in. The hard thing about Zillow is that they have the personal owners on there, which they don't have, on there. So I wonder if there's ever a way we can. Yeah. What? Well, we just need to convert all those for sale by owners to listings, right?
Well, it's interesting. If there was an article from Inman that says for sale by owners are actually down.
And I would agree with that.
They're down. Everyone thinks it's because it's a seller's market that's up, but they're actually down. And the reason is sellers are finding out if they can't do all the technology, they can't keep up with the stuff. They think it's easy, and then they realize if you go to a for sale by owner and they say that's okay, I'm gonna put it on Zillow. The easiest script is, did you know that Zillow is trying to sell that lead to another agent who's not going to sell your house? You're literally losing leads by putting them on Zillow. Because people are not, they're not trying to sell your house. They're trying to capture lead to sell to an agent, and an agent is not gonna go for a selling. They're gonna go for what's on the market and move them away from you as fast as they can.
I believe there's actually a script to that effect.
We know that there's ones that expect that fallen carpet, but we're trying to figure out if there's any real major issue.
But nice.
Everyone clap for Sheri. I didn't even have my glasses on.
I think there's a script that details that and how to approach, and then Bisbo ends up feeling, well, crap. That's no fun. Putting it on Zillow and everybody calling all the other agents, not me. And then that gives you a foot. It's like, you know what? Let me even the playing field for you, or whatever the script was.
I often say to people when they say they're going on the Zillow, I say, why aren't you using my site? Well, first of all, my owners are on here. Well, the information on Zillow is not very accurate. Let's just look, and I'll pull it up and find things wrong. They have pre-listing, pre-foreclosure that are just
They're just literally
speculating. Yeah.
They're just depending on the payment that you want.
No, they don't even know that. They literally don't have any idea. They're just making it up.
We're a non-disclosure state, so they can't get that information.
Okay.
Yeah, they are literally just making it up. No one believes us when they say that, but we're like, they don't have any way to know any of this. They're just trying to figure out a way for you to ask a question and then get the lead and then send it to Sheri, and Sheri can answer all the questions, and then Sheri
And
pays
then they'll charge me, $7.
I had a friend who did that.
That's what I mean.
No, it's not. But it was because it was on Zillow that her home was.
Was it in Idaho?
Yes.
I wonder, so it's interesting. I wonder if Zillow is buying that, paying the mortgage companies that information.
I don't know.
Because they have a lot of money. Because
I
agents
did
pay
have-
all the money for it.
I know.
I'm serious.
So I never did any of that for a long time, and then someone said to me, I closed 5 deals last month from Zillow, so I decided to try it for 6 months. I had one deal closed, but I've just had nothing but issues with it. It's kind of like throwing money into a black hole type of situation. And I want you to know that you can get up in the ranks in Zillow by doing your own stuff without paying them. And I was on the second page, first position without paying. So even though I wasn't on the first page, you have to pay to be on the first page, but those people are paying quite a bit of money. Do you have any idea what the averages are?
It's, most of the time, they did a Zillow panel at family reunion, and they said the ones that are getting a good return on investment are the ones that have a full-time ISA sitting answering all the calls. Because if you want to return, you've got to track the calls down because it's a diamond in the rough type of situation. And you'll have to put quite a bit of money to get into the top 3 that are really in your area and get it. So it's probably $2,500.
That's what I was going to say is $2,500, which is a lot of money. So your job is getting this database in order, but how do you find the people? And like I said, Michelle's going to talk more in depth about that, but are you a secret agent? Do people know you do real estate? Are you prospecting for business just in your conversations? Do people come up to you and ask you how the market is? Is it important that you know your statistics that are presented at team meetings? Is it important that you know what's going on in your area? Do you know the unemployment rate here? Good.
What do you say when you tell me what you say when how's the market? What do you say?
I say it is amazing. And
That's what I say too, but then I don't go farther than that.
It's an amazing market. Why do you ask? Is usually what I
Right.
say. And they'll say, well, we were thinking about
Why do you ask?
we were thinking about selling our house and what we need to do to get it ready. Well, how about I come over and do a walkthrough of your house and we can talk a little bit more about that. Tell me what's going on in your life. Asking questions is the best way to get information. If you start spouting, I think statistics are important, but they need to be customer specific. okay? If you start giving them a bunch of overview stats, they start to do, unless they're an engineer, they just start to go, okay, because most people don't really care about anything except for what pertains to them. So you have different spots in the market that are hotter than others. Like I said, this $100,000 to $125,000 range. Oh my heavens! I mean, talk about I'm ready to go look at those houses at 7 o'clock in the morning because they're just not, when they come on the market, they're just not fine. So that would be a good conversation to have. But when you're up in the $300,000 mark, there's not the sense of urgency that there is. So I think finding out what the needs are and the expectations, what they're looking at doing. You know, my family grabbed the other baby and then he gets a job offer in Texas. I went over there that day, did a walkthrough of their house. I had a family stay. We have an agent in Texas that they could go to. And I have been, you know, secure. And if I hadn't been paying attention and hadn't been in touch with them, they probably wouldn't have been asking. That was the question they asked. That was market. So, well, it's still a seller's market. What do you ask? And he said, well, for the luck. So we set that law in motion. I think being very purposeful and proactive is critical in any of the conversations that you have about the market. I think coming to team meeting is critical so that if you're like me, I'm not going to go research everything, but I can listen to Mike talk and kind of get a shoot from the hip answer to any question.
So Sheri, one of the biggest tips I think coming from the stats and from my tips that I've got you can do, he looks every morning at how many houses are new on the market, how many have gone pending, and how many have expired. So he's looking every day at smaller numbers of houses so he can get it internalized. Every day he pulls that up. What's new on the market, what's gone pending, what's gone expired. And then that way every day it's just a little more, and you're seeing it go through. And I think that's a great idea. Start your day out that way. You have something to say. Yeah. You know the newest stuff on the market every day, and you know what went pending. And if you thought, oh, I just saw that just a week ago. How long are those days on market? You're going to just start to get that inventory. It's like you're doing homes.
Yeah, maybe that's the first start to your lead gen in the morning. Maybe you look through the hot sheet and look at what's coming new on the market. And then for the clients that you're working with, you're, top of mind with anything that may need. So I'm going out with that kid at 5:30 today, and I've already pulled from the hot sheet. I pulled another house, and that's taken. I'm just going to say, hey, there's another one that came on. So I look like I'm in the middle of, especially what's specific to him. I think most clients want you to make them feel like they're very valuable. Okay, so leveraging your database. Do we have time to go meet with everybody that's in our database, especially when we have like 4,000 people? Is that how many you're looking for? Because you want to make that much money. Leveraging the information in your database is key, and touching those people is key, but making it relative information is important as well. If one of the things that I have on one of the posts I do on my Facebook page is, are you interested in how much your house is worth? I think that's a key question for people, whether they're looking to sell or not. That's a great way to get your foot in the door. Hey, your house could be worth more than you think. Would you mind if I buy and did a market analysis for you? You can't do that to everybody in your database, so in person. So what would be a good way to do that? How would you get them to respond? How are you going to know if they're even thinking about that? You have to ask the question in one form or another. Using the email system for me is great to have that constant, but I need that personal relationship part. So I'll take on my Facebook page, I'll take and do a private message to people that I see things going on in their life, just asking them how it's going, just general questions, start building a conversation. And keep up on that information, try and follow up with those people and see if you can't find out what their needs are. Because if you're not in front of them when they make the decision to list their house, they're going to list you first. And I did say damn it in the hallway that day. $5,000 mistake. Actually, their house was like $250. So it was more than that. That's
How did you get over a mistake?
Cry in your porridge.
Don't get to buy any new shoes.
No, that's right. No shoes for you.
That's my reward.
Shoes are
I
for
go buy
closers.
new shoes. Yeah, shoes are for closers. I'm gonna write that on my wall, on my whiteboard. Okay.
What's that? Handbags and shoes are for closers.
Definitely. She's looking at me. These aren't as flashy as So, do you just put everybody in and just send out the same emails to everybody? Or do you have different categories in the database?
I think you'd want to have different categories. I mean, if someone's looking for land, you're going to be sending them different information. And if someone's looking for a house, then if someone is looking to get their house sold next year, I mean, these are all
Or
different
even
spheres.
Or even the people that don't fit into any of those categories.
You're just sending them notices, hey, I'm in real estate. This is cool about your home. This is cool about property. This is in kind of a generalist slot there.
Okay, so E-Edge is fantastic because it allows you to categorize those people into groups. You have buyers, sellers, you have people that you've recently sold to. You don't know what they are right now. Hi, Brett. All right. So when you put them into E-Edge, you put them in a group, and then you start a campaign for that group where you drop them into the campaign that's already going to that group. And is it every April?
Yep.
When they change it up?
Yep.
So that's a good time to reevaluate if you haven't had contact for somebody in that group in that year, then you know maybe you need to put them in a different group. Now when you meet a buyer, you would put them in the 8x8 buyer group, and then for 8 weeks they're going to get an email that pertains to buyers. You also have the 8x8 group for sellers that has the same concept, and that's staying out in front of those clients. And then there's the general 33 touch that's for everybody that's not categorized. And then what other ones are there?
There's the mobile app, there's the birthday, there's the anniversary.
Yeah, not very good.
Yeah. The mobile app. There also is one that's just a 12 direct if you have someone that doesn't like to get a lot of emails. So it just sends them once a month.
I had a couple people like unsubscribe from those. So does that mean you just keep it from them, or?
So generally, the concept, if you think about, if you go to the MRAA and look at the lead gen model and what you're supposed to be doing, if all you're doing is sending 33 emails, it just might be too much crap. You know, they just don't want so many emails from you. But if you did 1 or 2 a month that were specific and really good, and Pilgrims does a good job on putting that together. But you may have someone who doesn't want all your crap. They want 1 a quarter, or they want something. So you have to then supplement your touches. If they don't want emails, like I don't mind emails. So I would rather send me an email than try to call me every month, right? So you just need to know those people. So call them. If they unsubscribe, go, hey, is it just was too much, or you didn't like the information? And most people will just say, too many emails. I get too many emails. So then you go, okay, can I just scale it back? Can I just send you a newsletter or the stats one? And don't be afraid of
touch them if they
absolutely.
Yeah, I would think you would call them and say, hey, I hope I wasn't bugging you by doing that. I just want you to be up on what's going on in the market. And so tell me, was that annoying? Would there be another way you would want me to communicate with you? Is it okay if I continue to communicate with you? You want to make sure that they're all right with it. Most people aren't, they'll unsubscribe, but they're not going to tell you no to your face.
Right. So but you wanted to say, it's just too many emails so that you can scale your emails.
One of those was I sold a house, so maybe she was done.
Maybe she planned to stay there for 5 years and was just complaining.
I don't know. Maybe she didn't understand you continue to market her because you want referrals. She's like, we're done. Why are you calling me again? We need to teach them. I'm going to keep calling because I'd like to get referrals from you. I'd like to know I'm here for all your help. Maybe she thinks you don't have anything else to offer. You go, no, I'll help you with this or this or this or this. It's a great conversation. But if you look at MREA, it'll tell you in that lead gen model what the 33 touches are, and it can't be 33 emails.
No, there's phone calls in there.
Phone calls and mail them something and drop by their house and pick up a birthday card. You know, that's why there's different touches, different campaigns.
Well, like you said, the 33 touches and all email. There's other things that you have to do, and you can take advantage of. Brett does a fun thing in the fall of having all of his clients a long pie. And you get a pie. That's a touch. And you think that they think he's cool because he gives him a pie? I would think he was cool if he gave him a pie. I I actually tried to pretend like I was a client and go in there and get it.
They have to come in here and get back.
Yeah, and then he has an opportunity to talk to see what's going on in your world. You know, I friend everybody on Facebook so I can kind of see without having to call them all what's going on, and then I know when to call. I look through my stuff every morning.
You put them on your personal page.
I do my clients. I don't do my followers. I don't do my followers, like the people that have just liked my page. They're not friends of mine, but my clients, anybody who I'm working with, I add them to my page. And some of them I put in a category called acquaintances. And some of my posts, like my personal family posts and that, don't go to my acquaintances. So there's a way you can categorize people. It's the same concept, you know.
So you don't have a personal page and
I do. I do. And I've had really good success with my Facebook. I probably have more than
I still wait for your message.
I just closed on a house from Facebook. That was the only place that it was. It was a coming soon. Didn't even put it in MLS. Realtor saw it on Facebook. So the full price cash offer, $300,000. That's pretty cool when you don't even have to put it in multiple listings.
You didn't have to go through all the steps, did you?
No, I did not. Can I take just 1 second?
Yeah,
You did that
absolutely.
a little early for the luncheon today. I'd love to have you all at the Realtor luncheon. We'll let you stand up and introduce yourself. Just real
That will not help get them there. right?
well, that's okay. But everybody that's new, we like to introduce and just get your name. You don't have to give a speech like why I got into real estate and stuff like that. But we'd love to have you there. And Mike Johnston is actually our speaker today. So this would be a good one to hear from the Real Estate Commission and things like that. And I'm counting how many people are in here because you have to put it with me on Monday. So I want everyone to okay. They better be here. If not, I'm going to do a personal phone call.
How much does it cost and where's it at?
It's $11, I believe, but I think you get in free the first time. I
It's
think,
not my first time. So.
isn't it? Okay, so it's $11.
That keep on expired. So.
Yeah, expired. It's $11 other than that.
It's a building free at, not iTech anymore.
College of Eastern Idaho.
College of Eastern Idaho.
Yeah. So
Which is iTech.
yeah, high tech. So sorry to interrupt.
Hashtag
Great,
sorry, not
great
sorry.
job of being in here. Go Sheri.
Thank you.
We'll get him there.
Okay, thank you.
So once you make a contact to add to your database and you classify them, how do you do that? There's a key in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book to how to classify the people in your database.
Sherry, if you do multiple types of specialties like, say, veterans, do you do separate websites or have one major business website and have pages on it? Or what's the best way to do that?
That's a good question. I use the Edge website for my website, so it doesn't really give you the opportunity to do
The new Playster site, so you get an EDGE site and a Playster site, which is a WordPress-based site, which means you can have pages
Multiple pages.
inside. You can have a dedicated veterans, you can have a dedicated, your main page has your property search inside, and you can have a specific, every one of those pages has a static URL, which means you can buy, it stays the same, so you can send people, here's my veterans website, and they go right to that page. And then it's inside of your other website, but they're all static addresses, so everyone can have an niche.
I worked with the Hicks Group for a while, and I was on the buyer's agent team for one website they had for like 5 years, so I didn't have my own website for a long time. And so I used the Playster website and was just getting that up and running, and I'm now getting people going from my other lead generation sources to my Playster website, and it's pretty awesome.
Is the Playster website just available, or is it involved with EDGE Pro? Or?
No, EDGE, because EDGE is going away. Well, we'll talk about that in the end. EDGE is going away. The new KW Command is coming out, which is integrated to Facebook. All the analytics for your targeted marketing happens, and it watches that if somebody on your Facebook page likes or comments and you're not friends, it warns you to call them and comment and do that. I don't know if you know that it does that. And so it's tied to that system. So Playster is tied to that. The EDGE site will completely go away, and you'll use Playster because it will be tied into all of your technology. Which
But
follows
your
my-
database will be able to be transferred over, right?
Start using
So-
EDGE.
so
because it'll all be in.
Don't say, oh, well, I'm not gonna do this because we're changing.
All
it
the
anyway.
info will end up from this to that.
Sheri might have the same breakup.
No, it's not gonna contact them. It's gonna give you a, say today, so-and-so liked the post you just made and you guys are friends. You should probably reach out to them. So it's gonna tell you. Well, if you're already friends, then it wouldn't. But if you shared Sheri's post to your site, it would let you know all the people that liked it that you aren't friends with. It might be a good idea for you to become friends with them.
Are they gonna get inundated daisies going, hey, I.
You never know. You never know. It's just gonna try to help you learn, it's gonna tell you who you
Be
should
aware
be
of,
contacting to be aware. It has artificial intelligence inside of it, trying to help you know what to do when you're done.
So you have your people that you know, like your sphere of influence, or your mets. Those are people that you've actually had communication with. You have your haven't mets, which is people that you haven't met, but you may want to do business with. You have your referrals, and those are 3 different categories that the MREA book talks about. And sources of your haven't met would be people in your neighborhood. Say you want to become the neighborhood specialist. You could add people, of course with their permission, if you wanted to start like a neighborhood page, if you wanted to become the expert person in your ranch or for the cottages or something like that. And anybody that you know through your kids or family members, so people that you don't know, but you could use them as a referral, as a prospective client. And any clubs or organizations you're in. Always be thinking about this. How can I get more people into my database? Anybody have a LinkedIn profile here? How do you feel about that? How do you like that? Have you used it at all? Are you kind of keeping up on what's going on? I have, were you going to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if we're connected.
We need to be. It's a great idea to be friends with all of your real estate colleagues, but also to reach out to other people. And I like LinkedIn because it's a professional page instead of a personal page, so you're not sharing stuff about your family on there. So I'm friends with people I don't even know on there. That's I don't do that on my. I don't want them to see a picture of me doing that. But I get job offers sometimes from LinkedIn.
I know for you, Joe.
But I have people looking at my page that I don't know why they're looking at my page, but there's nothing I'm worried about. So I think a LinkedIn presence, and Ben Kinney talks a lot about, he uses LinkedIn whenever he's recruiting. So, geographic farming, does anybody know what that is?
Focusing on the neighborhood geographical area.
And you can buy a list, or get a list, I should say, from the title company. I don't think, do they charge you, Jeff?
I think it's $3. I think they have to charge you for it.
For the benefit of those listening in.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Miss
you're
it.
recording.
Now it's on YouTube.
You could, like I said, become a neighborhood expert on a particular neighborhood and really learn all the statistics in there. And you can even order a list from the title company that are like really specific, anyone from 200 to 250 that has lived there for more than 5 years. You get just the addresses for those people, and you can mail them a postcard and say, I'm the neighborhood expert. This is how many people have moved or how many houses have sold in the last month. We have a lack of inventory. Are you interested in finding out what your house is worth? I'm your girl. Do something like that. So how many people are you expected to have in your database at the end of the 200? How are you doing? How many do you have? We're in.
20.
Oh, good. We're in session 2, and you're supposed to do, is it 5 people a day? 10 people a day?
So in theory, you should have 20 or more.
Who has 20 or more? Yep. Good. Nice. It's not really helpful to put your mom and your brother and your kids or anything like that. You want these to be people that can actually
So Sheri, I may counter that, since my brother listed his house with ERA. Why not treat your friends and family like clients? Because they sometimes don't think of us that way. That's a good point. They don't think of us as realtors. They think of us as my snotty sister, right? And so I didn't treat her like a client.
Not you, snotty sister.
Maybe I just get treated that way. But no, but in essence, it was a big eye opener for me because he doesn't think of me as a real estate agent because I don't treat him as if he's a possible client of mine. I just expect he's going to use me because I'm a seller, and he doesn't. He's a jerk.
Like I have my uncle and Garth Jones was at his like surprise birthday party, like their realtor forever, and they love him so much, and like yeah, it's just crazy like that connection he's made with them. It's very strong.
We need to do something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to talk, right?
It's just at the birthday party.
So my client's connection with him was the Cosmos card thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can't.
Yeah.
I have a Ford Explorer. So building the relationship and gathering data, like Phil was talking about on his notes, this one's the funniest. I have like these 2 names on here and email addresses, and that's all I have. And I was racking my brain trying to think of what I was supposed to send. So having that form for me has been critical. That's a change I made just in the last probably 6 weeks ago, where it forces me to ask the questions. I want to say that when I was starting out, I probably didn't know what to ask. And I had a bold class where someone suggested that you laminate a question page and have it at your desk all the time. A great question. So, you know, when you call someone, you think they're bugged that you call, I get nervous then and I can't think straight. Would that be helpful to have that question page of, so what's going on in your world? How's your job going? Just something. You might just look on that list and pull something out of that to ask them to start the conversation on a better level. Because I've had that happen to me a few times, and I just say, oh, sorry I bothered you, I'll call you another time. And then that negative ending to that makes me not want to call them.
That Abe Shreve posted on, or no, Abe Shreve was that, what's his name, you know, young guy we have.
Digger?
You know, who's the one we just had?
I'll
Tim Heidel. He just posted, he said, are you moving a step forward into growth or a step backwards into comfort? He said, when you go to close, if they say, oh, I'm kind of busy, you go, oh, no, I'm so sorry I bothered you. We'll talk some other time and step backwards into comfort. Or do you step forward to growth, say, when could I call you next? Or when can we say, you know, when is a good time? And move in and don't get uncomfortable. And I mean, stay uncomfortable and just go in and say, I'm going to make this purposeful. And I'm not going to just go back. I'm going to move forward into growth. I love that idea.
I love that idea too. And if you're ever comfortable in this business, you're not wrong. If you're ever feeling like everything's going good and you're not uncomfortable, then you're not doing enough.
It makes it look so. All the people that have the experience seem to make it look like as natural as breathing.
I want to bring that up. I was just gonna say I used to look at my kids, my Miller, you know, the big icons in our state. I want to get to the level of production that they are, and then I'll be like them. When you get to that level, there's a whole new set of challenges. You are never going to be comfortable in this business. I promise you that. It is not a complacent job. It is a continual growth of your personal and your business side of your life. Until you get to the point where you can retire, I think even then, I don't know. Maybe then, you'd be comfortable. But until then, I feel like it's our job, especially with the wealth of knowledge that we accumulate in our career. Like, it's my job to come and help you guys be better agents. I need to give back. So I think at any level in your business, you're going to be helping those who are coming up and then still learning from those that are ahead of you.
I heard a quote years and years and years ago that I think applies, yet there is no profit in the comfort zone.
That's a really good statement. I like that.
I heard one just at a camp that I went to, and not a big camp, at masterminds, and they said, healthy things grow, growing things change. If you're not healthy, you're not going to grow, which means you're not changing, which means if you're not changing, you need to look back. Your business probably isn't as healthy.
So goals for your contacts, get your 200 people in your database. How are you gonna do that? First of all, you're not gonna be secret agent, right? Does everybody have a name tag in here? If you don't, I admonish you to go get one. I have like 7. This is my favorite. It's fun.
We wear one of those.
Yeah, you can wear one that says my name on it. Are you gonna ask? Are you gonna bring up conversations? You don't want to be used car salesman, but you know, you want to ask questions to find out what's going on in people's lives that you're talking about. We're in a relationship business. Any house sale or purchase involves emotion. You've either got someone getting married, someone having more kids, someone's kids moving out, someone getting older and can't do the stairs. You know, you have 2 single people that got married and you're selling this house and they're moving into this one. I mean, every circumstance with the exception of an investment property that you deal with has to do with people's lives. So that's what we need to do is get into curiosity, ask questions, find out information. Also, if they tell you that they don't have any needs at this time, oh, we're so happy, we just got our house the way we want it to be and we're gonna live there for the rest of our lives. Well, do you know anyone else that I could help with their real estate needs? You want to get that information from them and write it down on the form, right?
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
If they say no, you can't be uncomfortable. That's when we're stepping back into comfort. We go, oh, okay, all right, okay, and hang up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go, hey, would it be okay if you do come across somebody that you let me know? Like, let them know it's okay that they don't know anybody, but if they do hear of somebody, because you just turned on from both, their reps. You just turned on the reticular activating zone, which means you just said, hey, if you hear of anybody that wants to buy and sell, you will find out they will hear the next 3 days of somebody who wants to buy. They wouldn't have paid attention to it until you mentioned it. Now you're like, would you just let me know if it's anything, or just quick share my app and let them maybe call me from there? Would that be okay? And they'll go, oh yeah. But don't just say, oh, you don't know me, that's okay. Good luck. And ask them, step into that growth. Say, is it okay if I call you from time to time and just check in so that, okay. Take that effort, because that's naturally how we want to we don't want them to be uncomfortable because we're now uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Step into that growth.
So what is that? If you're healthy,
if you're healthy, you're growing. If you're growing, you're changing.
So what are some of the questions that you can ask other than the real estate one that could help you to connect with these people? Did you ask about their kids? Did you find out if they have pets? Did you find out if they've gone on vacation lately? How are their kids moving out and going to college? You can ask questions about that. Have they thought about moving there? I mean, there's a lot of ways to lead into those conversations. So, in your workbook, you have a database spreadsheet. You do. We're supposed to work on it. Have any of you filled this out yet? This is to help you add people to your database. So what kind of information is on there?
On page 24.
I don't know. She just told me it was in your workbook. She found it. What page is it?
This is on page 9. I'm not sure if it's
That, I don't think that's the one. It's one with the diagonal line. That one. Yeah. So what's on that information sheet? This is saying if you've done your 10 contacts added, your 10 connections, your 10 notes. I don't think that's right. Is that right?
It should be your work. Share your manual should be identical to theirs. You did not have it in yours. Their pages are the same.
Add at least 10 database.
On page 24, there's like a diagram, but it's filled in with names, numbers, and such.
So, what does it say?
There's an electronic form of this, or the printed form. That I think it might be this one.
It's probably in your EDGE, in your resources. If you guys go to your student resources, I bet they might have one for you to download.
It has the first and last name, email address,
It's in the student resources, so that is it. That's exactly what it is. It's in your student resources from your from KWConnect.
So I'm going to challenge you right now. We have 15 minutes to work on this, and we'll probably shorten that to 10 since we're going to be leaving early. I want you to think of some people that you could call today. I know we had call time a little earlier, but think outside that box. Think about someone in the haven't met category, like maybe one of your kids' friends' parents, or maybe someone that you do business with. Trying to think to get your minds going, out of your comfort zone, out of the sphere of influence, the people that you don't have a personal relationship with, that you would consider trying to ask for business.
So you're saying kind of venture into the not nets.
Yeah, kind of venture into your uncomfortable zone. We're going to focus on that. So you have people in your phone that are all people that you would be willing to call. I remember we did an exercise in both class one time about going through the phone book under each category, and under accountant, do you have an accountant? Would you be willing to call that person? You have an auto repair guy. You have an attorney. It's my attorney, a great source of news. See,
Someone said once an artist. Do you know someone who would paint a mural?
That's a top percent.
Architect.
There you go.
I'm good at categories.
You are.
So let's change this from haven't met to people that you know that you're not friends with. I guess that's what I was getting at. Someone that you come in contact with in some way of your daily life, but you don't really ask them how their kids are. Let's just pick five people. How about your hairdresser? How about the lady that does your nails? How about the car wash guy? I'm trying to think of.
Well, think of the last guy you bought a car from. Did you establish a business relationship with your person?
What about the guy that just blew out 3 properties, Strickler properties? He's a nice guy. He knows something real estate. I've never asked him. What about some of your neighbors that you don't really?
What about your insurance agent?
Oh, that's a good one. Come on, throw some out here. I remember the little kid that lived across the street. She came over and told me that she told her parents that I was a realtor because we thinking about something. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. That the
Don't
little
ever
kid knew.
discount where it can come
Yeah,
from.
the little kid knew, but the parents didn't know. And I lived across the street from 6 years. I just want you to think outside of the box and not just where you're comfortable. Having that conversation of even just starting it and talking about their job or something can lead you into the opportunity to have that conversation. And maybe you don't. Maybe you're talking to the guy at Home Depot and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to ask him that question, and nothing leads into that. It's not wasted time if you don't go there.
And you get uncomfortable because you're thinking I'm selling. That's what everybody needs to do. Realize you're not tied to whether they say yes or no. You're not trying to sell them something. You're just trying to find people you can help. I'm saying I'm looking for people to help, so I just have to talk to everybody. I'm not trying to sell you anything. If you say you don't have any needs, that's okay. But if you do, I'd love to help them. That's how you've got to go your mindset. Mm-hmm. I'm not selling something. I'm trying to look for people who need my help.
So who's written anybody down? Good. Did you?
Few people, yeah.
Some ideas there?
I was a coach for baseball this year.
Oh.
And I put everybody's names in
Perfect.
So that's what those people in softball. Or people in my softball.
Mm-hmm. That is good. And it's funny how when you get with one person, say you get with someone there and you do a good job for them, and they work at a place where there's 10 other young families that need help. The gas company, one of my best friends worked there, and then I got introduced to someone from him, and that ended up in 7 deals through that one referral. So if you ask, well, I shouldn't say this. I was going to say, if you ask at the gas company who's their realtor that they know, they'll say me, but I haven't them lately. So.
Call the gas company, hurry! So you guys, one thing I always think of is, does your kids as school teachers know you?
That's it.
Do they know?
Reminder.
Have you ever said them?
I'm in a little party planning committee, I call it, for my daughter's preschool. And they always like send group text messages. I wouldn't have thought of that until I said, oh, I have all their phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
All these moms.
And if you ever go help at the class,
Yeah.
very dang quiet. I can't tell. This one's great because you don't have to say anything. People will ask you.
I just wonder, like, when you're placing things in your database and making purpose, do you have to ask permission to put it in?
Yeah.
Don't have it.
Because you're going to market to them.
Well, you don't have to, but what you run the risk is they have not agreed, so they can unsubscribe. You know, so if you have a business contact, if they give you their information, that's considered a business contact. So like a do not call list, you wouldn't be in violation. I got their number because I had a contact with them.
Right.
So
I
I
just
say
like
in
Bill was
essence-
saying, he was the coach, he's putting all his names in the database. Did you say, you probably didn't say I'm gonna contact you, you're just gonna contact him, right? You're gonna start sending emails.
I would not start sending them emails.
I just call.
You just call them
You
and
just
just
call
go,
it,
hey.
yeah, okay.
Because if you got emails all of a sudden,
Right. You'd be like,
but if you call them and say, I don't know if you know that I'm in real estate and I've got this awesome mobile app, I give it to everybody because everyone wants to know what their neighbor's house is worth when it goes up for market. Would you like that? I know you and I'm friends with you. I'd love you to have it. And it goes through. By the way, do you have any needs or do you know anybody? I talk to them. If they do, hang up. Then now they know you're real estate and they'll understand why it is that you're sending them.
Then you text them the link to the mobile app, and now whenever they get on there, they see your name. How many people here have sent out their mobile app? Good job.
Everybody got yelled at because they don't know how to use it. Not by anybody, no.
No, it wouldn't be you. So did you think of some new sources? Well, you did that. So some of the questions when you get to the point where they're actually saying, yes, I have a need, or I've been thinking about, or I want to know what my house is worth, what do you do with that? What happens if you don't know what's going on in the market, like we were talking about? If you haven't looked at what's going on and that price point, or you don't know their particular circumstances or what their house is worth, how do you get engaged in that conversation? One of the ways to do that is to set up an appointment, go visit them, go do a walkthrough of their house. And a walkthrough is a great way to become familiar with where they're at in the real estate process. I've gone to a house before where there was this much stuff far across the whole way, and they were wanting to see what their house is worth. And it's a good time to have a conversation about preparing your house for sale and planting some of those seeds about decluttering or pre-packing, as we call it. Finding out their time frame is good too. If they're just wanting to know what's my house worth and what are the timelines that it would take to get my house ready to sell, and how much time do you need to have those conversations. A lot of people will say, should I wait until the spring? Great conversation to have. Did you wait until the spring to list your house? Everybody else waits till spring to list their house, so why would we list it now, and then you wouldn't have all that competition in the springtime? Also, the interest rates are really low right now. We expect them to rise. We don't know when that's going to happen, so you have more qualified buyers at this time.
You can tell everybody, if you don't like the house you're in, sell the one you've got and build your dream house, or buy your dream house. When the interest rate goes up, you won't be able to afford as much house.
Mm-hmm. Very true. Interest rates is a great topic of conversation. So asking those questions to qualify them lets you know where to put them in your database and what marketing campaign you're going to put them on. So once we classify them by type, then we add them to the groups and set those campaigns in motion. So the 33 touch has the broadest and amount of people in it, and those are the people that are, you know, in the not really categorized as ready to do anything right now, and you're sending them information that keeps you out in front of them. There's a way you can move those into a different group once they raise their hand and say, oh, I want to see what my house is worth. And you can do that very easily. You guys, we talked about the 8x8 and the 33 touch and the 12x12. Guys have any questions about that? Does anybody know what items of value are?
Essentially coming from contribution, presenting them more information that they're going to go, huh, or wow, or I didn't know that. That's good information. The things that will engage them.
True. So offering information about the market, about the community, about, you know, upcoming events. I had posts
New
on
business opening.
Yeah, that's great. Has anybody ever seen the Hicks Group on the back of their cards has a coupon for Johnny Greeno to get right off? So whenever they send out their card, they get this little bonus thing. Kind of cool. Everyone on their team has that. You can also get coupons from some places, like if you went to a local business and say, hey, I want to work with you to help you get more clients and you can help me get more clients. How about I put a spotlight on my page and offer, you know, a 10% off Orange Week, or some of the bigger companies you can't do that with because they don't have the ability to do that. Do you have any ideas on that, Jeff?
It all depends on your personal relationship. It really does. And it may be something that doesn't cost them anything. It's just promotional. But if they, you know, especially if if you go in and say, I'm trying to send clients to you, it's really enough. Don't do a scattergun. Go focus in relationship with them and you'll find out it works out.
Maybe you could do something in the springtime of de-winterizing your sprinklers. You know, get $10 off this service if you use this person and mention your name so you can track how many people it works for. An item of value is something that you're giving without any expectation of anything in return. It's a goodwill gesture to give something without getting something back. That the act of doing it is usually touches people and they want to give something back. So you could follow that up with a phone call of, hey, did you get my coupon I sent you in the mail? Is there anything I can help you with? You know, do you have any real estate? There's a lot of ways to find people to contact to build your database. Market statistics is another one, and that's one of the things that's sent out in the 33 touch. Local points of interest. If there's a new event, or like when the eclipse was going on, information on the eclipse was helpful to people about you know, the events that surrounded that. And in January, you could send out something reminding people that they need to make sure that they filed a homeowner's exemption if they bought a house in the last year. You know, say, well, gosh, we didn't do that. You could have a preferred vendors list. You could prepare something with all different categories. I know that there's several of the teams that have those, that they have several people in each category, and they send that to their clients. So if they want to remodel their home, or if they need pest spraying or whatever, you have this resource for them.
So does it mention Homekeeper right there? So
it doesn't.
Inside of your mobile app is a Homekeeper app link. Homekeeper is a service that partners with Keller Williams, that you can go in and you'll sign up and register as a real estate agent, and you'll get to put your vendors in for all the different categories. It gives you a great list of who you should be finding for all the categories. And then what Homekeeper does is when the client, so after you close a home, you say, hey, make sure to go in, or if you've got somebody you're working with, go in and click on Homekeeper. It does a little quick survey of your house, and then what it will do is push notifications through the app to them on home maintenance suggestions. Hey, by the way, it's a great time in the spring to wash your windows. Here are 2 window washers that I suggest. And your vendors pop up with their name.
Miss Jessica,
Yeah.
I've used this. Boy, that's echoey bad. Is it echoing real bad for you?
There you go.
Okay. I used Homekeeper as a maintenance person, and they call you all the time want to know if you can help with people and everything like you said, windows, you know, is your house weatherized, all that stuff. So sorry, that's probably not applicable, but
No, it's good. It sounds like. You sound like the ominous powers that be.
But it's really true, because that idea, what can I bring of value, and how do you get those relationships with those allied resources? What are you doing to help them? Well, if you have all those categories filled with allied resources, if you don't know who to call and you don't have a big sphere, you need to fill those slots.
What a great opening for the conversation of, do you have anyone you know that I can help with the real estate need?
I'd like to be your gal
Yeah.
for real estate. Would you be my guy for window washing? And Homekeeper gives you a physical something that actually does something for them.
Thank
and
you,
now you
Jessica.
have a preferred vendor list accessible through your real estate app.
Also, a calendar of events is also good. Like if there's stuff going on in town, are you looking at your watch? Are you bored?
No.
I have
The text.
15 more minutes, right?
Yes.
Yes. That's 11:45. So what have you taken from this so far? What is the most important thing you need to do? And work that database. So when you have your lead gen time and you have an organized database, you have somewhere to go to find the people to call. And if you have good notes, then you know what the heck to talk about. If you don't know what the heck to talk about, you need your question sheet, right? So that if you're tongue-tied and nervous, you can say, how are your kids doing? I saw that so-and-so did this, and change the conversation so that it's not awkward.
You know, Kim Rose showed me she put her binder together, and she put all of the lines to fill in when she calls them. So she had a pre-printed instead of just a blank notebook page. And so she has ways to remember to ask them all the things that are missing.
That's a great idea.
I was going to ask how you cross-reference this with your ES.
ES can give you, if you use, so I went into Ignite, scroll to the bottom below all the sessions, and there is the database spreadsheet. It has everything to fill out. So if you're filling that out, if you like paper, print it out, fill it out, or have it open and type the stuff in, that is the exact information that goes to ES. It's the same thing. So, yeah. But I mean, really, in essence, what do you want to know? You want to know their basics, their birthday. Don't forget to ask them their birthday. Don't forget to ask them their kids' names. Do they have pets? You know, those kind of things. Because you want to say, listen, I want to be a resource. I want to make sure to send you a birthday card on your birthday. I want to know your birthday.
And in home anniversary, when you sell someone a home, is a great time to follow up with them after.
I was at a class and someone said they sell, they made their home warranty company an allied resource because everybody a month before their anniversary of their home sale, they call them and go, hey, would you like to renew your home warranty for another year for $350 because it expires next month? And that's their call on the month before their anniversary.
That's a great idea.
And they're like, would you like another year of home warranty? Maris has had a home warranty for like 25 years on his house.
You know, Mike Johnston just told me he has had a home warranty now the second renewal.
Yeah, because you can renew it every year. You have a home warranty, and then if their water heater goes out or their air conditioner, you just saved them a ton of money. And if you're sending all of those referrals to your home warranty person, wouldn't they become an allied resource and watching for you? You know, way more than 5 a year. If you do 20, 30 every year, back to that home warranty.
That's crazy. What a great idea.
Yeah, Lori Apodaca with HWA, Home Warranties of America. You actually get $50 for everyone that does it. So you could actually be paying for your marketing through giving them home warranties, which benefits them and what is all around. It's a win-win. Put that $50 back into your marketing budget.
So what do you guys think about when you're doing all these calls and you're building your database and you're having people give you names? What should you do for those people? Here we're taking care of our database and we're adding people to that, but do you think it would be a good idea to reward the people that give you business in some way? Do you have something to say, Justin?
No. I'm just shaking it. Sorry about that.
There we go. With disembodied voices. The powers that be. So whenever I get a referral, whether I close with them, whether I work with them, whether I do anything, I have someone call me and say, hey, I gave someone your name. And you taught me that I'm supposed to give you their information. Here's their information. I send them a $25 gift card dinner. Say, thank you so much for thinking of me, regardless of whether I do transaction or not. Now, that might seem like a lot to you, but the people that I do this with often, and they keep sending me business. And you could send them again an item of value. Thank you so much for giving me that referral. I want to say thank you. That's how I'm building my business. Here's movie tickets, or here's $5 gift card to Jamba Juice, or something. People just love being recognized for doing something nice. So that's something that those note cards I have in my car. It's something I always have. I have all different kinds of gift cards that I buy, and I'll send those out so that you actually do it. Because one of the things that's hard is if you think, oh, I'm gonna send them a thank you card, and you don't have a thank you card, and then you have to go to the store and you have to find it. You never know. So prepare yourself. Have you ever heard about the bunker? How your office or your workspace should be a bunker, and you should have everything you need there, including snacks, bottled water, and thank you cards. So we want to reward behavior that when people send you a referral with some sort of acknowledgement. You want to out-touch all the other agents. You want to make sure that you're the person that comes to mind. You want to make sure you're at least one of the two, because it can amount to a considerable change in your income in a given year. The referral base of getting those people that you do get into your database to get referrals from them can just make it exponential, and how purposeful you are in your actions will directly affect how much money you have in your bank. I know this from personal experience. So the assignment that you have is to continue to add contacts to your database, create your groups if you haven't done that, and who do they see if they need help with doing that?
Scott Leroy. He's got a great YouTube video on the contacts in E-Edge. Go to Scott Leroy Marketing on YouTube. That's his YouTube channel. And then just type in E-Edge or contacts, and all his videos pop up. He also does an E-Edge class, E-Edge Academy, once a live, once on Tuesday. And I think it's an hour class that he will teach E-Edge. Plus, we'll do a live one in there. So that Scott Leroy is the best thing.
Okay. So when we transfer over to the new system,
PW Command,
are those categories being transferred?
they're actually updating the categories. So they're adding additional categories and things. So yes, it's supposed to be a seamless, which I've heard that might be the reason it's delayed, is they want to make sure that when they transfer things over, everything.
It's a small one, speed bump is possible.
Okay, and the next things to do is to add the contacts to the group, and then put those groups on a campaign. Those are the 33 touch, the 8x8, the 12x12, so that they're starting to get touches from you. This works if you have 5 people or you have 50 people. And don't think, well, I'll wait until I get them all, because you can drop people into that group and then they'll start on that campaign. So the next thing that you need to do is download all the pre-work for your next class. The class is on Friday, and it's about finding your business, and she's going to go more in depth to some of these things that we've touched on about how to find more people in your database. And then previewing homes. I love the hot sheet idea. I want to challenge all of you to do that every day, just to become familiar with what's coming on the market. You can see some of the trends from the listing activity that's going on and how many houses are going under contract. I ran the hot sheet a couple of days ago, and like 5 of the 10 houses were already pending. And so I did a little bit more checking on those and seeing that, that price point was really sparse.
Also, you can go into the intranet, and Hallie can help you. Don't know how to do that. Go in and download Mike's stats from team meeting. You should come to every team meeting, every second Thursday of the month. But download the stats from online, because if you're making calls, you could have just the history sheet of all the price points in front of you. If someone says, how's the market? Mike will tell you. He keeps it on a Dropbox on his phone. So if someone says, how's the market? His idea is, well, what's your house? What's the price for your house? Because that's specific. Then he pulls up things and says, well, it looks like we bought this many have come on the market and this many have sold in your price point, and moves on. And it's like, holy cow, they know right there. But he has just that one sheet that he refers back to, just a little quick stat, because it's right. They get overwhelmed with the stats. Those stats are critical to have on your lead gen.
And it's impressive when somebody's asking you what's going on in the market, and you're like, you pull out your phone and you have all this stuff on there, and it's done for you. All you have to do is download it and open the file and show it to somebody. So ahas from today. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to be purposeful in your business? I'm gonna look at each one of you. Everybody needs to get a name tag. They're as cheap as how much? I mean, you can get
We give
one
one free, so you should have the free one from Keller Williams, but you can go, you can go online and get 5 for $20. Jim's Trophy has a bunch of them ones that's special. If you don't have a name tag, go to Hallie.
recognitions.
Other name tags that you can get heavier here.
Yeah.
This one's magnetic. I think most of them are magnetic.
Most of them are magnetic.
Yeah, so don't be a secret agent. Does everybody have a Facebook business page in here?
No. Oh no. Personal Facebook page. I'm Facebook free.
Well, you can't have a business page without a personal, right?
Would it be beneficial to have a domain name, like GoDaddy.com, so that you can use that for your business page? But isn't that
For your business page for
on
Facebook?
So if they type in philbates.com, they go to your business Facebook page and kind of use your Facebook page as your website. Why not? Can they get enough information from that Facebook page that, as long as you have links that would get them, like, can they search for properties there? Can they do that? If so, why not?
So I have a domain name, which is liveinidahoballs.com, that sends to my Facebook. Because on there I can look at what properties that they've shared. If you pay for the extra, you can see what properties they look at, but some people look at houses that they're not interested in buying, the ones they saved are the ones that are interested. So then that's all free. I mean, my GoDaddy domain name is, I think, $15 a year, and I just have it forwarded to that. So I think that's more effective than having to go to your Facebook page. But I think having your Facebook page go to that Playster site would be good.
And Scott Leroy does a weekly Playster 101 class on his as one of his trainings. Want to get in and see how your Playster works? He does a class.
We should probably organize something where we can come watch how they do people ask questions about it, especially if we do the transition. Okay, so you're not going to be a secret agent. You're going to put yourself out there and brand yourself. Decide, what kind of an agent you want to be and how you want to present yourself. Do you want to specialize in something? Do you want to do the veterans? Do you want to do first-time home buyers? You can become a specialist, and you can always change it, but you can use that to start conversations. So get yourself out there and publicize. Does everybody have business cards? Okay. I have them in my pockets all the time, so that I always have cards with me, but more effective than that is to send a mobile app. So if you're standing there with your phone and you're talking to someone and they have a question about real estate, you need to send them a mobile app. It's a quick way to capture the opportunity to help them, and you're giving them a service. And I always talk about the mortgage calculator on there. It's a fabulous tool that you can figure out about your house payment. Now, with mortgage interest or mortgage insurance and taxes, you can't be specifically correct. It gives them a ballpark of what if you were to buy a $100,000 house, your payment would be about this much. And that's how I present it. There's some great tools on there. If you're driving down the street and you see a house and there's a sign out front, you can just click nearby houses and that house will come up. When we were in New Orleans at family reunion, we were walking down the street, Jessica and I were like, oh, I wonder how much that house is. 1.3 million. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's with the crappy outside.
Yeah. We're like, we live in a great place. So it works anywhere you go. So you can send it to people that don't even live in our area. Okay, and then the next thing is to add 10 people a day to your database. And we've given you some tools on how to do that. Asking questions, being into curiosity are the key things into finding out the information that you need. Next thing is you want complete information. I really strongly recommend that when you're working with a couple that you talk to both people, even if one of them's the decision maker and one of them's not. I think it's just easier to do that. Group text is a good way to get that done.
That was a big aha for me, Sheri.
Especially when the husband is the decision maker and the wife feels like she's not a part of the transaction.
You don't know what the communication is that you're not seeing afterwards.
you start a fight between Americans, they're not going to call you back because whoever ends up getting burned worse in the end, going to fire you.
Right. Someone's not going to like you in the process. Okay? So I think having that complete information and sending everything to both people. And this applies, even like I recently had two friends that bought a house together, same thing, you want to respect everybody in the transaction. Even if one person is more dominant, like I had the one calling me all the time, the other one the day. And then we're gonna keep our database organized. You're gonna feed it like as you go. Don't wait like me until you had like this big box full of papers and try and figure out the information. And then the next part is categorizing everybody into where they're at. Either the 33 touch or the 8x8 buyer or seller and the 12x12s, and starting those marketing campaigns to them. And as you go through the Ignite process, the goal is to get that 200, and I want you to be constantly working at this. If you take it in little pieces, it will not seem so overwhelming. And then if you need hints on ideas, you can come to Jessica, you can come to me. Any of the ALC members would be happy to share their experiences with you. I found it was really good to find a person I really admired, and my person was Susan Allred. I wanted to be a lot like her, so I just watched her. I watched how she marketed. I watched how she did her business, and became my own agent. But a lot of my ideas in the beginning came from her. So find someone you admire and look at their great habits and apply them in your business. Okay.
Guys, give Sheri a round of applause. Okay, you guys, mission 3 is due by Friday. Mission 3 is due by Friday, so you've got to get them all done. Please make sure to go in and